what's up, Makale Rasati out here in Singapore. And you know what? Back on this Night Out podcast, I gotta tell you a secret, you guys. I was so excited. I had the chance to, during COVID, right, try and come up with something marketing wise to kind of keep the momentum going, because obviously during circuit breaker you don't get a chance to go out and actually audition for stuff. You don't get a chance to stand in front of people and talk to them, get to know people, network or whatever. So jobs for entertainers becomes a little bit more difficult to procure. So what I did was, instead I decided to get with my Empire Artist crew, and I decided, you know what, I got plenty of artists right here. We got plenty of material to work on. Let's do interviews of everybody that was here in our team. So I went one by one, as many people as I could get who had, time or whatever, got them to do interviews about their life story, who they are, what they're doing, how they got to where they are right now. And we had a ball. I mean, everybody joined in. They were able to ask questions, interact with the audience, get to know these stars and what they've been through, in order to get to where they are right now. And I had a blast, for real. But it gave me a chance to speak up again, live on Instagram, where people can interact and stuff. And I had a couple people actually join in and ask me, hey, you know what, you ought to think about maybe looking at Channel News Asia or possibly even radio, because you got the voice. And I'm thinking, I hate my voice. What are you talking about? But yeah, I'm getting over that slowly, okay? But I thought about it and I let my management team know, and I was like, what do you think? I mean, is it a possibility? I'm pretty sure that, every radio station here in Singapore is pretty much booked up. They got the radio DJs that they want already. They got the personalities that they need. I don't think they need anyone right now, but maybe, what do you think? So I got a call, and my manager was like, you know what, why don't you go ahead and do like 2-3 snippets? What I need is one, obviously introducing yourself, and another one more towards like, what would you do in between songs and stuff? And you know what? Me being the nerd that I am, I did a couple of them and I was like, yeah, but it doesn't really sound like myself. So he gave me a week to do it, and I gave him a couple samples in between, like throughout the week. And I asked him to listen and give me, commentary, give me a critique. What do you think? So I was dead scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. I really hate talking about myself. So the intro piece was like, ugh, I didn't like it. But I've realized the other piece, where it's like in between tracks or whatever, I needed to kind of plan it out a little bit. So the first time I did it, I listened to The Muttons in the Morning, because this is in English, obviously. I'm not talented enough to do it in Tamil yet. But I went ahead and listened to The Muttons in the Morning. I realized, people are going to do traffic. I actually wrote down one of their traffic things and tried to read it like I thought I would, if I'm on the air. And the traffic one didn't go over so well, so I kind of canned that one and tried again. And I was thinking, what, if I was a radio DJ, what kind of person would I be? How would I interact with the crowd? What kind of stuff would we talk about? Because obviously, if I'm good enough, I'd get my own segment. So I might as well give them a little bit of that flavor from the get. So I had to pull out all of my Melrose, Eagles Nest, Bridgewater College flavor from way back in the day. And what I did was I actually went ahead and found a couple of songs that I really loved that would have been appropriate for radio, because there are most of my songs are not appropriate for radio, but a couple that I thought were appropriate for radio. I kind of faded it out as it was, finishing the song up. And then I came on the radio talking about, hey, that was so-and-so with this track, and how do you feel about the track? And then I throw out some trivia, because I'm the kind of person that I love knowing where everything's from. I love knowing how everything's connected. That 6 degrees of separation stuff, I eat it up. I love it so much. So we talked about, who ran with whom back in the day, what was this group called, and I'd list all the members or whatever, what album or who did they go on tour with, stuff like that. Just little bits of trivia, because I love music like that. And when I listened to the playback on my own, like I recorded it on the voice recorder on my phone, obviously. When I listened to the playback, I was like, dude, I've been doing this all my life. I've been doing this forever. I used to do this on my mixtapes when I recorded from the radio with a cassette recorder. I did this when I was making mixes in my dorm room, because, Napster and LimeWire were the thing back in the day. I did this whenever we have people over and we start doing karaoke. I do this. I ask questions and I engage with them, and I tell them, yo, if you haven't seen this song is actually from this soundtrack on this movie. You should go watch the movie, blah, blah, blah. And I had a ball. And honestly, when the call came in, it was like a I don't know, I think it was like a Monday. And they said, okay, just I'll give you till Friday, just get it to me and we'll work it out and everything. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, sure. And for 2 days I sat on it. I didn't do a single thing for 2 days. I didn't listen to any radio stations. I didn't listen to anything. I didn't do any research or background stuff on this project for 2 days. But it was running in the back of my head like, oh my gosh, am I really going to do this? Would it really be worth it? Am I capable? Am I qualified? And you know what? I did the thing that scared me. And I feel good that I kind of threw it out there for the world to see and we'll see what comes back. But for now, I feel pretty good about the fact that I put myself out there. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And of course, I had a couple of people I sent it to, like, take a listen, let me know what do you think, And they seemed happy. They seemed like, yo, you got a really good shot at this. Let's see what happens. Somebody told me I had a face for radio. And I was like, thanks. But I enjoyed myself. I had a blast. The process of actually writing the script down was not as bad as I thought it would be. Now, to do it every day, that might be a different story. But for this particular project, to kind of write a script, to listen to a couple other radio shows, and obviously, yes, I want to know what the culture is like in Singapore, but I also want to bring my own flavor. I don't want to be a carbon copy of everything else that's going on here, right? So I went back to Elvis Duran in the morning, the Breakfast Club in the AM, just listen to the different radio DJs that I grew up with, right? Obviously, there will be segments where I have to read the news. I'll have to read the traffic. Hopefully, I can pronounce all the words, the names, the road names and stuff here in Singapore. But I wasn't sure what I would be capable of doing until I decided to do it. But here's the part I want to tell you. When I was little, I used to pretend to be a newscaster. When I was little, what I would do is, because it was a something that I kind of just picked up, I think. I don't know. Sitting behind a desk, you got papers on your desk in front of you. You just adjust the papers and ruffle them or whatever. And you sit down and you speak out loud. But it's actually a talent to be able to read and not lose your place and then make eye contact with the TV the whole time, like to look at the camera directly. Because obviously we can look down and read out loud, but can you make eye contact? Can you keep your place wherever, on the script that you've been reading? This is back before teleprompters and stuff, right? So I was excited, because doing the radio thing kind of reminded me of that. And if I ever got a chance to be on TV as a newscaster, I think it would be really cool. I think it would be something else that I could say, hey, you know what? I did that one time. But this is what I'm saying. The things you've always been attracted to, the things you've always kind of done on the back end by yourself because you just had this, this notion or this idea or something that turned your head, those are the things that make up your passion. I didn't realize how much I love speaking. I love doing videos. I'm scared a lot of times because I don't think I look that great or I don't think I sound as great as I could, but I really do enjoy getting on and talking to you guys. This podcast, never in a million years would I have imagined that I have this many episodes, that I've been as consistent as I have been, right? I honestly thought I was going to be a writer before I'd be a podcast host. Really. If I get the chance to actually sit down and have like a group discussion, like a red table talk kind of situation, yo, you better watch out. But until then, I didn't know what I was capable of until I tried it. And of course, the first time is going to suck. And maybe the second and third time. Honestly, there was a period of time where I thought, you know what, this podcast is kind of and I don't really like it that much, but I'm doing it. It makes me feel better at the end of the day. I feel better. It's my way of transmuting all of that darkness that I absorb on a daily basis when I talk to people, because I make light of it. I give you insight into what I understand of the situation, and hopefully it helps you understand your situations as well at home. But in the meantime, I wasn't sure what I was capable of until I started. And then I realized it's going to take a minimum of 100 episodes for me to feel comfortable about what I'm putting out there. And of course, the format changed. When I first started, it was all documenting what I did during the day and what was the moral of the story, basically, right? And as I go along, it's become more about, okay, I come on and I have a specific idea I want to talk about in the beginning. And sometimes I do a recap and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I tie in the recap with the moral of the story, which I started off with. But either way, now what the podcast is about teaching people what I happen to see, how I see the world. What is it that I am noticing about the world around me? And I can't tell you how much I've fallen in love with this process. It's because of things like this podcast, creating my own website. Like, this is the third review now that I'm doing in the last 3 years. I'm redoing my website again. Creating a cookbook, right? Creating worksheets and journals and stuff like that. I wasn't sure what I was capable of until I tried it. And then suddenly it wasn't so impossible. It wasn't so like fanatical and fantastic. It was actually something that's doable because there are steps in between. Once I decide what the goal is, I just have to figure out what it takes to reach that goal and then put one step in front of the other, one by one, one by one. So I'm telling you right now, whatever far-fetched, crazy-ass dream you've got in your head, don't dismiss it and don't tell yourself that you can't because you don't know what it takes to get there. Develop that shit. Start somewhere. Put one foot in front of the other. Maybe the first thing you do is go watch a bunch of people that are doing what you want to do. And notice for yourself what you like about them, what you don't like. It's what I do for websites. I go out and I look for websites, right? And I look at this page and that page and the layout and everything, and I look and see what I like and what I don't like. Luckily for me, I'm with Elementor, so it's a drag and drop situation and it's beautiful. It's easy to do. So I can whip up pages pretty easily, but the fact is I need to have a blueprint of what it should look like, right? I need to have the bare bones, the skeletal structure of what the website should look like before I can go ahead and put this stuff in. And then, of course, it's like, swapping out that Latin garbage for actual written word. But that part's the easy part. Once I get the layout done, we're good to go. So maybe what your process needs to be is discover what it is that you want to do. Once you've decided what you want to do, go watch what everyone else is doing that has the dream that you want. And note down the things that you like about how they do things. And collect all that information from a bunch of people. And eventually you're going to have a blueprint of, okay, well, these are the kinds of things I need in my life. And this is the kind of stuff I need to be doing bit by bit so I can get to where I want to be. Because I'm telling you right now, if I can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of getting that dream out there, figuring out what it is that you want, and then picking out the things that you love about the way other people are doing it. And then put your own flavor on it, put your own spin on it. I hope this helped you guys, but I just wanted to share the good news. So I have no idea what's going to happen yet, but I've tried this too, and I feel pretty damn good about it. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll catch you again soon, yeah? Bye.